daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz. I'm Randy Lee alongside Jim Hardy. 12 to 1. We'll take your phone calls as you look down at the bottom of the screen, 256-234-6221. Phone lines open the entire 2 hours of the program today, and we want to thank J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation and Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Heating has been needed this week, so give our good friends at Sensagreen a call at 334-487-3555. Jim, good to see you. Good thing about doing back-to-back days with you is we can build on what we talked about yesterday. Big basketball matchup for Auburn tonight. This one at home. Need to continue the strong play. Matchup against Texas, who's 3-4 in conference and have picked up a couple of road wins to get to those 3 wins. And Auburn coming in at 4-3 and 2 big road wins last week. I guess that's where we'll start today is the basketball overall. It's just a daunting schedule year in and year out when you're going through the SEC. It's kind of hard to filter through the middle of the pack teams, which I would consider the 2 of these teams. You got to hold suit at home, and Auburn needs to do that tonight.
Well, I mean, I'm doing a little bit of research last night. I didn't realize that Texas A&M game and the Georgia game, the 2 we've had that we've lost by like that, and the Texas A&M being a buzzer beater, if you get those wins, you're number 1 in the conference. Oh, yeah. That's how close you are from being in the middle to the top.
And we're right there. Yeah. And, a couple of the games that we saw, including last week, Auburn able to go on the road and run away with a victory and win by double digits. And if you can do that, you've proven that when you're at your ceiling, you can really play a high-end basketball game. And the good thing about Auburn, though, is I don't think we've reached our ceiling. I think this past week proved that Auburn defensively can upgrade the play that they've had so far this season. They did that. Came into last week giving up right at 79 points per game. Held Ole Miss to 66, and if you can do a better job than Auburn did against Florida on Saturday, I'd have to see it. First time we go down there and win since you and I were seniors in high school in 1996. And Auburn, the way they did it, and the way they held down an inside presence with Condon, and the way that they forced Florida to do things that they don't necessarily want to do was what was the most impressive thing there.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm with you. If you can take and play the old school, I would say old school, last 2-3 years of Bruce Pearl ball when they played defense, that's what's going to make this team special. And it looks like it's slowly coming around.
It definitely does. And we'll run down that matchup tonight as we get on into the show today. Quick note out there, Dallas Walker IV has been granted another year of eligibility. That was a big topic of discussion last night and again this morning on our podcast. Walker will be in his 7th year player next fall, but his eligibility clock adds up to give him another season. Walker began, and here's one thing that Brett ran down thoroughly this morning, and I'll try to do a little bit here for those of you that wonder, like I do a lot of times, how in the world's a player get a chance at a 7th year. It seems to be I don't know if you saw yesterday, Chad Baker-Mazara, happy birthday to him as he gets to 26. 26 years old, still playing college basketball. It's mind-numbing at a certain point what's allowed in the college game right now. But Walker began at Texas A&M in 2020, and that season didn't count due to the COVID. Redshirted the 2021 season, and then for whatever reason, I mean, if you know the reason, I don't know it, didn't play in 2022. While he was enrolled, though, at Texas A&M during that year. Then played 2 seasons at Western Kentucky and, of course, last year at Auburn. What did Dallas Walker do last year for Auburn? And Andy did a great job of running down these defensive players, some that we have returning, but others that we have coming in. And this is what Dallas Walker did. In his career, he's had 37 games. That's, again, at Texas A&M, Western Kentucky, and at Auburn. In those 37 games, he's got 74 tackles and 4.5 tackles for loss. What did he do last year for Auburn? Played in 12 games, 13 tackles, 1 forced fumble. So got snaps in a majority of the games last year. Not overly productive, but defensive line, if you want to give them a pass, a lot of times they aren't overly productive, averaged about a tackle a game. I still think it's a good thing for Auburn to hold on and to keep a warm body in the room that has proven over his career that he can put some production out there. But, Jim, it's not like Nick Fairley's coming back to Auburn next year.
Well, no, and those guys typically, because you're looking at the position he plays, he's what they call a gap eater. He ate that gap up, and Adkins took his tackle, or somebody else got it because he did his job.
Yeah. But 12 games, 13 tackles, a good keep for Auburn, but an elder statesman, and Jim ran down some numbers right there, and we'll talk about some of the questions that we had yesterday on the offensive line side and exactly how old are some of those guys that we've got coming in, 17 in that room now. How young are some, and we'll talk about that in an upcoming segment. But, it's wild, wild times with the NCAA. Betty Acco, I was reading a tweet coming in to do the show with you today, and a new judge going to be assigned to that case. So him playing in the 2 games that we've seen, we'll see if the NCAA gets their wishes, which is to have a new judge decide whether he can continue to play. Big-time Alabama donor that was the judge that had given him this waiver to play up to this point. Mm-hmm. But, Jim, I don't know the direction that one's going to go. And he's easy for us Auburn fans to throw darts. But it's all the way around. It's kind of like this Dallas Walker deal. If you ask me as an Auburn fan, am I excited to have him back? Sure. I appreciated Stephen Pearl's comments on the Nate Oates deal and the Betty Acco deal. I mean, to me, Stephen Pearl said, look, that's not the direction that we're going right now. Well, I'm not telling you we're not going to go that direction in the years to come because it's an ever-changing world, and it feels like the rules are changing daily. Jim, we don't like a lot of these rules, but I don't know what you expect these coaches to do but to try to push the envelope as far as they'll allow it to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and I like Arkansas's coach's comments. He come out and said, us older guys have been coaching for years. We're tired of this. Yeah. He said, I want you to have 5 years. I don't care if you get an injury, a COVID year, or whatever. You get 5 to play 4 or 5 to play 5, and that's it. When the 5th year's up, that's it. Don't come looking for 6, 7, 8.
I think it's the easiest way to go. I don't know how long we're going to have to continue to talk about a missed COVID year.
Right.
But I guess it's this 7th year that you can still pull that off. But it's wild, wild times. And what happens with this? Well, there's the spot gone to a young guy.
Yeah.
So you can go old. And maybe that's a decent segue as we head in to this next segment here shortly. Jim, yesterday the talk, and I was really happy with some of the decisions that Golish and staff had made toward the offensive line. Mm-hmm. To decide to go old there. 17 now in that room. Jim did some research. Give me an idea, average age, how many of them are don't you need to look at 22 plus? Because you'll get up to 24, 25 years old. We see that right now with Dallas Walker if you get granted. But I would say 22 plus is senior plus.
Yeah.
So how many of that 17 are senior plus, Jim?
You got 6 in the room that are 22 plus of the 17.
6 in the room, and 3 of those 6 have a lot of snaps under the belt, correct?
Yes. You got the one that came from Stanford to us, one that came from James Madison, and one that came from South Florida. The one that came from James Madison has over 1,200 snaps. South Florida, Cole Best, is over 1,700 snaps, and Jack, I'm going to say Layer, is over 1,000 snaps from Stanford.
All 3 of those guys, 22 plus years old.
Yes, they're actually, let's see, 2 of them are 22 and Jack is 23.
So so he's going to be 23, 24 years old. And you didn't bring up another in there, Stanton Ramel.
Yep.
So 6 of the 17, 22 plus. Stanton Ramel may not have as many snaps as them, but he started every game for Michigan State this past year.
He's actually only 20.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 20 and got over 600 snaps, Stanton Ramel.
So this would be his 4th year in college, correct?
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. It may be third because he has played all the snaps, but he's only got over 600.
Yeah, I know that he didn't start one year. I felt like he redshirted a year. You know, I'm trying to go back in my mind on him being at Thompson High School and when that was. But when you're trying to run down who all the talented kids that came out of Thompson High School over the last decade, it's impossible to keep a head around which class it actually was. But,
sure.
You know, you add him to the mix where he's got a lot of snaps. I mean, Auburn may have 11 of the 17 that are less than 22 years old, but they got a lot of older guys, is my point, on this offensive line group that they picked that have a lot of snaps, and we're going to at least be a lot older than we've been in the past on that position group.
Well, and one of the great things that the group last year came into doing is PFF, you know, the Pro Focus rankings. They had that group rush blocking real well, and they did a great job last year of us running the football. Jeremiah Cobb had a great year. Yeah. Jackson, whomever, Deuce got out and, you know, ran. What that group failed on a lot was pass blocking. Well, this group, out of those 6 that you're talking about, there's actually 3 of those that are 80% and above overall on their blocking, overall Pro Focus.
And you may say, well, that was at a much lesser degree of talent on the opposite side if you're not dealing with the SEC, but you also have film to go to there. Yeah,
there's actually stats to back it up. It's funny you brought that up. Cole Best, when they played Florida last year, was his highest ranking of the year, an 82 PFF against Florida.
Well, that helps right there, and we'll continue to run that down. We'll take your phone calls. If you've got one out there, you got comments, Jim and I'd love to hear from you. 256-234-6221.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Adams Motorsports of Montgomery knows it's the best time to ride. Right now, get the best deals on all of our Suzuki and Kawasaki street bikes, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. Adams Motorsports has it all, and our inventory is vast. Get out there, ride the streets and trails, and let Adams Motorsports make your pleasure our business. With family customer service and service after the sale. It's time to ride, so come see us on Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery or online at adamsmotorsports.com.
L&M Pawn and Gun, located in the USA Factory Stores in Opelika, is East Alabama and West Georgia's complete gun, tactical, and pawn shop. It invites the region to shop over 500 firearms in stock, on the floor, and ready for sale at the market's best values. At L&M Pawn and Gun, we specialize in all tactical guns, equipment, and parts, including AK-47 and AR-15s. Specialized parts for tactical guns as well as suppressors and other parts you can't find anywhere. L&M Pawn and Gun has it all in the USA Factory Stores in Opelika, or shop online, lmpawnandgun.com.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Looking for hometown service and name brands you can trust? Come to Presley Appliance and Furniture. From the best choice in appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and KitchenAid to home furnishings, Presley's is your one-stop shop for comfort and quality. And now we've added the Mattress Shop by Serta Simmons Bedding and top quality sheets and pillows from Caraloha. Shop Presley Appliance and Furniture on Cherokee Road in Alex City or online at PresleyAppliance.com. That's PresleyAppliance.com.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
At Glenn Smith Chevrolet, let's kick off 2026 with a bang. We will not be undersold. Chevy Traverse with 3-row seating up to $7,250 off. The impressive Chevy Equinox up to $5,500 off. Enjoy no payments until springtime. Get your lowest price guaranteed today. Smart people from all over the USA come to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz, presented by J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation. Since Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Couldn't do this without our two great corporate partners here on the Auburn Blitz. As you look down at the bottom below me, 256-234-6221 is our phone number. Love to hear from you. Our podcast version of the show is a lot of comments coming across through YouTube and all the social media outlets out there. But here on this one, it's an open call-in show, radio and TV. Been doing this almost 20 years in some form or fashion here in the state of Alabama. So can't thank all of you enough for finding us and continue to pass us along as we're creeping up on 15,000 subscribers on the Auburn Blitz YouTube side. Give you just one more chance here to throw out some of the numbers that jumped out at you as you did a little research on the offensive line room. 16 you just said that are in there.
Right.
6 of those guys, 22 plus. Mm-hmm. A good 8 of those guys, lots of snaps. Mm-hmm. So a lot of experience in there. And what else jumps out at you, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting dynamic because you go from one side of this offensive line to the other where you're going with those 6 you're talking about anywhere from 1,000 snaps and up, 700 snaps and up. Then you got those other 8 guys. The highest one of that group has played 18 snaps in college football. So you've got to make those 6 go. If you have some injuries, we've got the depth. They just don't have the snaps.
Well, that's the angle that Brett's been going.
Yeah.
Is that you've got to make a decision on – I call it dead money. I don't mean that in an overly negative term. But if you got a $30, $35 million budget and you are spending a lot of dead money, mm-hmm. I'm not sure how much dead money you're actually spending on 8 guys that have that few snaps on the offensive line.
Yeah, you got 3 of those that are on that group we're talking about that are 18 snaps or less returned from this year, like a Ty Buster, Jacoby Ward. Those guys, what do you think you paid that guy to stay here? Probably not
much of anything because, right. What's his leverage? What would he be offered on the open market? And I can't imagine that it would be much. Now, all of those other guys, those other 8 that have that much experience and that have that much film on them, Their value's really high.
Well, now we're talking about the number of 8. So you took, like I said, you take 3 of them. The other 5 I'm talking about is high school kids coming in. So you're not going to pay them a lot of money, I wouldn't think.
No, I think you've got to prove yourself, especially at that position.
So to me, they spent their money in the portal is what they've done.
And I feel real good about that. And the point Brett has made is you got to spend some in development. So
sure.
You look at 16 in the room, 8 of them really haven't played, but 8 of them have played a lot of snaps. It feels real good on the decisions that Golish and staff have made to put together an elder statesman group that knows how to play in different games on the road, at home. And then you add in a group that you hope's really talented. The ceiling's very high, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on this initial year.
Yeah, you threw in those transfer guys. You got a Stanford guy, a Miami guy, an Ole Miss guy, an Oregon State guy, South Florida guy, Michigan State guy, and James Madison guy. So they've come from about what you said, every level of played on the road in the Big Ten, played in the SEC, played at James Madison. They've got a room in there that's got a lot of different experience to talk about in the room.
I love the direction that is going. Now let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. We hit a lot of offense yesterday. So let's talk about the depth chart for Auburn on the defensive side and want to look at the production that's coming back from last year, and a lot of the production that's coming back, not necessarily at Auburn, but just their production wherever they were playing last year. And again, phone number's down there at the bottom if you've got a comment or a question, 256-234-6221. Jim and I just talked about Dallas Walker getting another year of eligibility. His career's 37 games, 74 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss. Last year for Auburn, played in 12 games, 13 tackles, 1 forced fumble. Got in a lot of games, got the snaps that we needed. Not overly productive, but you got to have pieces to plug in. And if he got out on the field last year, you feel good he'll get a chance again this year.
Oh, yeah. And looking at the group we got coming, we got to have that body of his to get in there, like I said, and eat up space and allow your Atkins and Melendez and some of those guys to make the tackles.
Cody Sigler's coming in, West Alabama and Arkansas State. His career, he's played in 33 games, so he's been in a lot of games over the last 3 years. 79 tackles, 20 tackles for loss, and 11 sacks. By far the most productive player that Auburn on the defensive line side has gotten in the portal. This past year in 2025, he played in 11 games, had 35 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks. Really solid numbers all the way across the board there, Jim.
Yeah, and just like the first one that you announced, if you got 30-plus games, you got to be one of those older guys that you like talking about. You got to be that 22, 23.
Well, the biggest thing is you as a GM and a coaching staff can go in and check out the film and see strengths and weaknesses, and you can choose, whether but if you go in after a high school guy or someone that hasn't had those snaps like those 8 offensive linemen that you talked about, it's really difficult to go in there and say, okay, well, I know he can do this, right, and he may be weak in this part, but we still could use him because of that strength that we see right there.
Sure.
St. Ferrier, Hampton, and App State, he's played in 24 games, so a couple of years' worth of experience for him. 20 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a half a sack in his career. Last year, a lot like Dallas Walker. Now, in a different level of football, but the production looks very similar. 13 games, 15 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a half a sack. Played in a lot of ball games, served his role, highly productive, but it's too often that we're going down this stretch of defensive tackles where you look at this and they're not the Nick Ferrier and Tracy Rocker numbers. Fairley and Tracy Rocker numbers that we've seen in the past. Those are outliers, but you've got to have plug-and-play guys. So St. Ferrier, coming from Hampton and App State, looks like he's one of those. We'll continue to run down the defensive side of the ball, the depth chart, how much production they've had, and then get you set for a big basketball game tonight as Texas, 3-4 in conference, will be at our Auburn Tigers, 4-3 in the conference. That's at 6 o'clock on ESPN2.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering, or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates. Visit Sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Looking for hometown service and name brands you can trust? Come to Presley Appliance and Furniture. From the best choice in appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and KitchenAid to home furnishings, Presley's is your one-stop shop for comfort and quality. And now we've added the Mattress Shop by Serta Simmons Bedding and top-quality sheets and pillows from Caraloha. Shop Presley Appliance and Furniture on Cherokee Road in Alex City or online at PresleyAppliance.com. That's PresleyAppliance.com.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
This is Kathy Holmes with Preparatory Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Henderson & Coker is a premier custom general contractor located in central Alabama. With over 50 years of industry experience, Henderson & Coker has been crafting stunning custom residential and commercial spaces for families and businesses throughout Alabama and Georgia. If you're in the market for a top-of-the-line luxury home or specialized commercial work, contact the experts at 256-750-7383 and check them out on the web at hendersonandcoker.com.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz, presented by J.A. Smith Construction and Sensigreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. 256-234-6221 is our phone number. Get your phone calls in. We're running down the potential depth chart for Auburn on the defensive side of the ball based off of the transfers that we've gotten in, starting at the defensive tackle and nose tackle position. We've made it down to Walter Mathis, who's coming over from LSU. In his career, which is just that 2025 season, 12 games, 9 tackles. So I said this to you during the break before we finished these down. There's some production that Auburn's been able to get to come in, namely Cody Sigler. The majority of the production that we've seen. On the edge, defensive end side, you've got Nate Johnson, Deshaun Womack, pretty good production from both of them. But you've got to know that the talent that you had in that room before you went in the portal is going to reach its peak. Because, Jim, there's not an awful lot of production that we're going to run down at defensive tackle, nose tackle, defensive end, and edge with this listing of players that we have right now.
No, and there's no doubt. And you got to look at now on the defensive tackle and end numbers there, they're not going to have the greatest numbers anyway because a lot of offenses now are schemed to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly. They're not going to get the sacks. They're running the ball outside the box a lot of times. Nobody, I won't say nobody, but very few times do you see people downhill coming at that nose guard anymore. So their numbers are going to be down some.
These two that I'm really high on from seeing them a lot in high school football here in the state of Alabama is Malik Autry from Opelika High School. Played 9 games last year, had 8 tackles, so not overly productive, but got a lot of snaps. Looked the part when he was in there. Out of those 8 tackles, several of them made you go, okay, I see what could be with him. So Malik Autry back's a good keep. And then Jordan Crawford from Parker High School, the state champion there. Played 9 games, the exact same as Malik Autry. Only 2 tackles last year, but athleticism's off the chart. Need to get great play as we close out talking about defensive tackle and nose tackle from those 2 players, Jim.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, you're going to have the production in that, what I've been saying, of them to fill their gap or them to do their job in the scheme so that Melendez can come up there and Adkins and All-American can come up there and fill that gap that running back's coming through, and it's over.
Got to know that you've got the talent. You got to feel good about the talent there, but production is limited.
And you want somebody in that tackle that demands a double team. You don't want him to have to take on a single block. Then that gives the offensive advantage.
Which is where Autry is,
right,
just from a size standpoint.
Right.
And then from an athleticism standpoint, he may not have the size, but Jordan Crawford, let me tell you, athletically looks the part, and hopefully in his second year in college, we'll start seeing that production-wise. Auburn defensive end and edges, we just mentioned Nate Johnson. He's coming from App State, Missouri. He's played 35 games in his career, so he's played a lot of football games. Got 83 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks. So great production as well. But this past year, the production went down. Played in 10 games, 6 tackles, and only 1 tackle for loss. Hoping you can get him back to the level that we saw him a couple of years ago. And so that's the reason that Auburn goes out there and gets Nate Johnson. Deshaun Womack, been at 2 SEC schools, has again played in a lot of football games where he was at LSU and Ole Miss. 35 total games, 48 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. Pretty productive year compared to the other defensive tackles and defensive ends we talked about with Auburn last year. Played in 15 games, had 27 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. So you got 2 coming in right there that have played a lot of snaps. Older players, Jim, that are going to be expected to play a key role on this defensive end and edge position this upcoming year.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent to the offensive side of the ball. You got guys up front that are older, experienced, better, but then when it goes behind it, it drops off drastically on their age and what snaps they've got.
You got to know the potential out there, and the potential's high on this next one that we'll talk about. From Thompson High School, Jared Smith, in his career, he's played in 11 games. He's got 5 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Big 6'6", looks massive out there on the field with a lot of other big guys. Potential's through the roof. Auburn's going to have to get that potential and develop him up. Glad we held on to him. Glad he's back at Auburn. That's Jared Smith. Darian Smith, 8 games and 3 tackles. J.J. Falk did get in 3 games for 4 tackles and 1 tackle for loss last year. And rounding it out, and I don't know where Joe Phillips is going to end up in the mix. For 2 years we've been expecting to see him out there, and has had his moments, I think, in practice and scrimmage games that make you think he may have a chance, but he hasn't gotten many snaps at Auburn. He's played in 2 games, has yet to have a career tackle. From Booker T. Washington High School out of Tuskegee. Had a Georgia offer. Auburn flips he and DeMarcus Riddick late in the process to get them in, and we need to get some development out of some of these guys because I still like them. Love that they were able to go into the high schools here in the state of Alabama and get them, but we need the production, Jim.
There's no question on that side of the football to keep that great linebacker core we got going and great secondary going. They've got to have help up front.
So the takeaway from the defensive tackles and defensive ends and edge rushers is Auburn's got to get that development. We do like the ceiling of a lot of these guys, but the actual production that we've seen so far does not wow you. So Golish and staff feel real good. There's some good youth that you've retained here. You know, whereas you lost a lot of the offensive players, especially at the wide receiver room, you've retained a lot of the defensive linemen and defensive ends that you've gone out and gotten, Jim. So I do like that. And I still do like the pieces that we have in place, and we'll see how it all works out. Big game tonight is Auburn at 4-3 in the conference takes on Texas. That tips at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. Auburn coming off 2 big road wins this past week, scoring 78 points and holding Ole Miss to 66, and then coming back against Florida and winning by 9, 76-67. The last 3 SEC games, let me run down the difference in scores that we've seen in comparison to the first 4 games in the SEC. Last 3 games, Auburn's given up 67 points to South Carolina, 66 points to Ole Miss, and 67 points to Florida. That's more like it. That's more what we've gotten used to under Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl, Ira Bowman, and this staff. First 4 games of SEC play, Auburn gave up 104, 90, 73, and 84. I can tell you, Jim, if you ask for one thing from me for Auburn is to play hard, sound defensively, and hope that we start finding our outside shot. But playing hard and sound defensively are things that you can control night in and night out, and it feels like we're getting way better at that.
Yeah, to me, effort and defense is non-negotiable. If you're going to be on the floor, you got to do it.
And that's been the MO for the Pearls leading this Auburn basketball program, and we'll run down some other stats when we come back here on the Auburn Blitz.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. And for any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
A fresh start begins at home. This new year, Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is bringing comfort your way with maintenance inspections starting at just $29 and installations as low as $50 a month. Start the year right with Dixie.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
The all-new Winter Timber is now open. Located right next to the Walmart Market across from the Auburn Mall. If the outdoors is your lifestyle, Winter Timber is your new headquarters. From rifles, ammo, and hunting supplies, camo, and all the outdoor essentials, they've got it in stock and ready for you. Winter Timber is here to serve Auburn, Opelika, and the entire Lake Martin area. And they'll make the drive worth it. For the best selection and the best service in outdoor gear, one name says it all. Winter Timber, the best in outdoor needs.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your vehicle or boat to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your boat or vehicle the right way. Located on Highway 63, just about 2 miles from Highway 280 in Alexander City, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz, presented by J.A. Smith Construction and Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Jim, when you look at the stats for both of these teams, a lot alike. You know, when you look at shooting percentages, rebounds, free throw percentage, three-point percentage, you're getting teams that look a lot alike, aren't we?
It's a mirror image of each other, except for there's a few little hidden stats in there that people have not really picked up on just yet. One I'll throw at you. Texas is 3-0 versus ranked SEC teams. But catch this, they are 0-4 versus unranked SEC team. What is Auburn? Unranked SEC team.
Right there outside of the top 25. You know, that's a good sign for Auburn. You know, a couple of stats that – here's a couple that are worthy of saying that you should look at each night. Both teams averaging about 85, 86 points per game. So both teams can really score the basketball. Neither team shoots it from the perimeter to the level that we'll see from some other teams, not only in this conference but around the country. They're pretty even. Texas shooting right at 34% from three. Auburn right at about 33% from three. And both of these teams making about 7.7 made threes per game. So nothing to write home about. Both teams shoot the ball okay from the field, 46.8 for Auburn and 49% from Texas. And then from the free throw line, which is where Auburn has had really good success the last few games, is getting into the paint, scoring in the paint, buckets in the paint. We've won the points in the paint battle by a wide margin the last couple of games, including against a deep and talented post game for Florida. But this team here for Texas shoots the ball well from the free throw line too.
Well, to segue into that, what you were talking about, that's another hidden stat in this ball game that most people hadn't probably looked up. Auburn is top 5 in the nation in free throw attempts because they're driving the ball like you're talking about and getting to the hole. Texas, on the other hand, is 281 in the nation, so they're not going to the free throw line that much.
So you look down blocks. Auburn's averaging right at 5 blocks per game and only 3 blocks per game for Texas. So maybe defensive presence inside may be a difference. The opponents, how good are these two defenses? Auburn has dropped this points per game down from 79 to right at 77, with the last couple of games holding teams into the 60s. But points given up for Texas, a little better than Auburn there. 74.5 points per game given up. Both of these teams rebounded pretty equal. Turnovers forced, Auburn turning over the opposition a little bit more than Texas at 12.2. Not a lot that you can pull from this, honestly. These two teams are mirror images of one another. It's the reason the game's so important, Jim.
Yeah, that's why, the stats I referred to, that's why I tried to pull those as hidden stats, because if you've got one team that's going to the top 5 in the nation going to the free throw line and the other one isn't, this game could be won on the free throw line.
Well, and Keyshawn Hall and Murphy really shooting the ball well from the free throw line.
Yep.
Pettiford always has shot it well from the free throw line, but it's Keyshawn Hall's ability also to get the ball in the lane.
Yeah.
Get some and one opportunities.
And I'm not sure there's anybody on Texas's lineup that I've seen that can guard Keyshawn.
And we're going to see that tonight. And that was the difference in the first half in the Florida game. You take the 22 points that Keyshawn Hall had in the first half against Florida, and Auburn's in a mess there early on, but they were able to go through him and go through him often. It only took one bucket from him in the second half to get 24 points, but Auburn found it from elsewhere. One thing Brett keeps bringing up, and I'll bring it up here, is the depth piece for Auburn is still a work in progress. Doesn't mean there aren't pieces sitting over there on the bench that you hope find their way into the lineup to pick up. I don't care if it's 7 or 8 minutes per game, it would help. And who are those three? Bashir's one of them. Can we get him back into the flow? Magwood, not exactly sure what's going on there. Anybody has an update there, I'd love to hear it. And Simon Walker. Looked like a 3 or 4 game stretch we're going to start seeing Simon Walker, and then we go away from him. So those were all 3 pieces that Auburn came into the season expecting some minutes out of that we're just not seeing right now, Jim.
Yeah, and you and I have been talking about it last week and this week as well. My concern was on the long term. If you're going to play these same 7 guys for 30 ball games, by the time they get to that tournament, their legs going to be tired.
Yeah, and the game that we lost against Texas A&M was probably a depth issue. Auburn had a 16-point lead, and the pressure that Texas A&M puts on you causes problems, especially as you move into second half play.
I would imagine if you look at Texas A&M roster, they're probably rotating 10, 12 guys in and out.
Yeah, and which is difficult to think that Bucky didn't have that long to put that roster together, but he put at least a deep enough roster together that he can roll those type of players out. And I do think that there's some pieces over there that we're going to see more of as the season moves on. I'm very hopeful for that because, man, you cannot come on an Auburn show and say anything negative about the development of our basketball program. I mean, our coaches do an amazing job of developing what we get and putting a quality product out there on the court that we can all be proud of. And I've been proud of this basketball program more than really any other Auburn program that we have. And this year's much the same. We just reeled off 3 straight defensive games. Remember back to maybe 2 SEC games in, being on a show with Brett, and he and I going, man, where did the defense go? Are we going to clean this defense up? Stephen Pearl's known for defense. Are we going to clean this up? And it didn't take him long, not even halfway through this first year to clean it up. And that's big, Jim. If we can keep making it difficult, I feel the shot's going to come.
Yeah.
There's just no part of me that thinks Tahad's going to stay semi-cold all year.
Right.
He's got 2 or 3 made threes a game in his arsenal, and you get that. You get Keyshawn Hall, and you get some of these other pieces shooting the ball better. Maybe Simon Walker into the flow, the way that he shoots the ball from the perimeter could really help out.
And, I mean, you brought it up yesterday, and I'm a statistical guy. I love seeing numbers. If Pettiford is a long-term, 40% shooter, at some point he's going to come out of this and it's going to be like, oh, where's this guy been? A good shooter can only go dry for so long.
It's like a hitter in baseball. I mean, you're a 320 hitter because you're a 320 hitter over a 10-year cycle, and you can start out 180, but it's coming.
You're right.
It's just a matter of time before it comes, and shooters are a lot that way too, and you can have the yips for a little while, but at a certain point you're going to come out of it. And I think that Auburn playing as well as they are right now, to have only made 8 3-pointers in the last 3 SEC games tells you the potential of this team. One more segment of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, CAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
Bundle your home and auto and save money with State Farm's personal price plan. Contact State Farm agent Ron Carroll today at 256-378-6631 or visit him on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer availability. Eligibility may vary.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sense Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sense Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensagreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit Sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sense Green.
Central Alabama. This is our home. It's where we work, where we play, where we raise our families and grow old. And in the unfortunate event we become sick with cancer, thanks to UAB Medicine Russell Medical Cancer Center, this is where we heal also. We have invested in new technologies and expertise so that now we're able to treat all sorts of cancers and you never have to leave Tallapoosa County. UAB Medicine Russell Medical Cancer Center. Compassionate, convenient, collaborative cancer care right here at home.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Buying a home or property can be the biggest investment of your life. The Wisdom Firm is licensed to close any property purchase in the entire state of Alabama. The offices on both Bent Creek Drive in Auburn and Highway 49 South at beautiful Lake Martin. The Wisdom Firm has you covered. Give Travis and his team a call at 334-826-0722 or check them out at www.auburnlegal.com for all your real estate closing needs. No representation is made that the quality of legal services is greater than the quality of legal services made by other attorneys.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz. Great segment sponsor here, Peppertree Steaks and Wine. One location over in Montgomery that's been there, and then the new location in Auburn. Great people, wonderful environment. if you want to smile on somebody's face when you walk through the door, that's what you get each and every time that you go to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wines, with a great selection of meats, great food selection. If you're looking to cater a meal, whether it be an event that you've got coming up or a family event that you've got going on, Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine's great for that. And, of course, great wine selection. We always enjoy it, don't we, Jim?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, the ones that got me to begin with was the Conecuh burgers. That's some pretty good stuff.
Well, anything, the word Conecuh and burgers with you, that's going to work out
It's going to work pretty good.
Let's finish out talking about this basketball game and then roll over to maybe some on this days. Final thoughts on the game. Auburn a 6.5-point favorite if the line stays where I saw it. Big game for Auburn. My key here is two things. Continue to do what you're doing on the defensive end, making it difficult, getting better with communication and the way that we play there, and then hope that Auburn can get back on the right track shooting the ball from the perimeter at home. And if we do that, Jim, I like the direction of this team.
To throw some numbers at you for the statistical junkies out there like myself, if Auburn shoots 39% or better from the floor, they win. If they shoot 33% and better from three-point, they win. Every time, they've only had one game all year that they shot better than 40% in the ball game from the floor, and that was the overtime game in Georgia, and they lost. Other than that, every game that they've been under 40%, they've lost in a field goal percentage.
Yeah, and we've really shooting the ball well from the free throw line, which is needed.
Yes.
Percentage is really strong there. So big game tonight, ESPN 2, 6 o'clock tip. Let's do a few on this days. And, of course, if you're on this day this week, there's going to be a lot of Super Bowl on this days to talk about. And this is one that I remember very well. That is the 1990 Super Bowl, which pitted the 49ers against the Broncos. It was all San Francisco, if you remember that day. 55-10. Joe Montana was the MVP, like he was quite often during that stretch. You know, this next move from here, you'll start seeing Steve Young get a lot of the snaps, but the best version of the 49ers for me was Joe Montana leading.
No, there's no doubt. I love that. And at the, what do they call that, the immaculate reception that was caught in the back of the end zone from there?
Yeah. With Clark making that catch in the early 80s and then the run that they went on. Following that up. And
that was the whole age of the West Coast offense was born, and that's when people didn't understand how to take it on.
They couldn't defend it. They didn't defend Roger Craig, who's one of Brett's favorite players, out of the backfield, whether it be running the football or catching the ball out of the backfield. They spread the field out. They had probably the best wide receiver in NFL history to throw to. Had Clark to go along with Rice. It was an amazing team.
If you've never seen the documentary on Jerry Rice, I would tell people to go back and look it up and find it, because I've watched that thing 3 or 4 times. The man, when he was younger, used to chase horses just to try to catch them, chase them.
Yeah, and you know, his dad was a bricklayer.
Yeah.
And he worked with his dad, so his hands got really strong with bricks being thrown up at him to place. And
it's when you get into it.
It's funny to watch the way things work out based off of some history that goes along with the family.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's amazing if you ever see a great athlete, there's something that led them into that. I mean, God gave them the ability, but you've also got to train that ability. Like you said, coaching them up. This guy developed some skills for him. I mean, like Mississippi Valley is where he went to school, and then all of a sudden people were like, who in the world is this?
Yeah,
And
he came out necessarily once he was in college. If you'd have been in today's day and age, everybody would have thrown Cam Coleman-esque numbers
at him,
maybe even more so at him, but he hung with it, and crazy to see where we've gotten now. 1996, mine and your senior year in high school, the Cowboys defeated the Steelers in a very good game. Larry Brown with an MVP nod based off an interception that he had late in that football game, but the Cowboys had as strong a stretch as we've seen in the last 30 years during that little 3 Super Bowl win stretch with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, and great defensive side, and Emmitt Smith being one of the best backs in the league.
No, they definitely, that was their peak, I call it, because ever since then they hadn't been able to find a way back.
No, and their offensive line was the best position group in football during that time frame. And so if you wonder where the lore of the Cowboys went, well, it faded once that group of players left. And then 2001, Quite honestly, the best defensive football team outside of the 85 Bears that I've seen in my lifetime, led by Ray Lewis, who was the MVP in this game. The Ravens win 34-7 with Trent Dilfer as quarterback. All I can tell you is if you can find a worse starting quarterback that has won a Super Bowl than Trent Dilfer, all he had to do was not screw it up. That's how good that Ravens defense was.
And I was fixing to say, on the other side of the ball from that, if you can find a better linebacker with more intensity than Ray Lewis, I want to meet him.
And all the way around, playing against the run, playing against the pass. The pass, he was as good as I've ever seen, too. So, again, thanks for tuning in here on the Auburn Blitz. Tune in the mornings, 8 o'clock, podcast. Brett Pritchard leading, Faith on there. I'm on there from time to time, and we want to thank all of you for almost exceeding any expectation we have as we're getting close to 15,000 subscribers. For Jim Hardy, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning into the Auburn Blitz.